North Carolina passed its first budget in nearly 4 years, cutting taxes and giving teachers a raise.
Governor Roy Cooper called the budget imperfect, but signed it anyway, ending a stalemate in the state capitol. WRAL's Dan Haggerty joins us now with a deeper look at what this will mean for you. Dan?
Well, yeah, there were some big tax cuts, really big ones, a lot of tax cuts. You're going to be paying less in state income tax in just about 6 weeks or so. Now, here's the breakdown. Right now, we pay 5.25% tax to the state. In January of 2022, it goes down to 4.99%, and it keeps going down, you see, year by year through 2026, landing us at 3.99%. That would put us among some of the lowest in the nation, aside from the 7 states that don't collect any income tax at all. Not only are taxes going down, but your deductions are getting bigger. So hurry up, get married, have a kid, buy a house, save some loot. I mean, in taxes, all those things are incredibly expensive, hence the tax breaks. But realistically, this could mean thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars for your household over the next 5 or 6 years. But for the state, it's a little bit different. See, they're going to be losing billions of dollars, and they're going to have to find a way to make that up. Listen how Representative Marcia Morey did the math. Was there any pressure from some negative consequences that have happened around the state because we've been waiting for this budget to pass?
Well, I think the biggest pressure probably was coming from teachers. I mean, all the other groups have gotten some kind of raise in the last couple of years in a mini budget, but teachers have not had a raise since 2018, and even that was a pretty small one. So they definitely wanted to get that on the books, and and teachers have been calling for that for about 3 years now. So I would say that was the main pressure coming from the outside.
And they did get their raise.
They did.
But speaking of money, there was also a lot of tax cuts that were passed. And one thing that stood out to me when I was listening to one of your reports was something that was said by one of the Democratic lawmakers. I want to play it for you just right now. Take a listen.
When all tax cuts are added up in this budget and they're fully implemented in 2030, we stand to lose $8 billion annually in revenue. That's 20% of our operating budget.
Okay, Laura Leslie talking to me there as well. And we're going to get back to her in just a second. But first, I want to talk about that 20% tax cut, because that is huge. I mean, think if I gave you a 20% cut right now on your income. I mean, that would change things a little bit. You'd be back to light beer. IPAs now only for a special occasion. But I asked WRAL political reporter Laura Leslie how the state actually plans to lose that kind of money without having to scale back and maybe even laying people off.
But what Republicans say is that this money that they're cutting out this is going to happen over the course of a decade. So they've got some time to phase this in, and they can always change their mind if it seems to be causing a problem. But they believe that the growth that the state is experiencing, the economic growth, the population growth, is going to more than make up for those cuts down the road. So, and they think that the more they cut, excuse me, for example, the corporate income tax, the more corporate business they're going to have moving here. So they believe it will pay for itself.
Oh yes, the corporate tax. See, lawmakers decided to get rid of that entirely. To this, Republicans usually say, great idea, let's bring business in, bring them all. Democrats usually say, wait a minute, make them pay their fair share. Well, I think a lot of average people just say, wait, why does that exactly matter? So we put this together. North Carolina already had the lowest corporate tax in the country, and by 2029, the new budget says we won't collect any at all. It's an attempt to be business-friendly, entice new companies, and hold on to the ones we already have. This map from the nonprofit Tax Foundation shows you what each state uses to tax businesses. North Carolina taxes at 2.5% of a company's profit. Our neighbors in Virginia tax at 6%, and South Carolina at 5%. States like Texas don't have a corporate tax, but they still tax companies using a gross receipts tax. North Carolina hopes to be the only state in the country that doesn't do either. Here's the timeline. In 2025, the corporate tax rate drops to 2.25%, decreasing each year through 2029 when it reaches zero. Companies will see this as an incentive, but it's not the only thing big companies consider. In 2021, for instance, North Carolina was home to 13 Fortune 500 companies, which is pretty good. Only 11 states had more. But all 11 of those states tax more than we do, and some of them have the highest corporate taxes in the country. California taxes at 8.8%, Pennsylvania at nearly 10%, and Illinois at 9.5%. All of them far outpacing North Carolina in terms of Fortune 500 companies. So that is the plan. And I hope you like it because, as we said, it took 3.5 years to agree on, and it's never taken this long for them to come up with a budget in state's history. That's saying something. The state's pretty old. We started as a colony.
Dan, let's hope it doesn't take future budgets that long.
That's right.
Thank you.